I'd like to share a revelation that I've had during my time here. It came to me when I tried to classify your species. I realized that you're not actually mammals. Every mammal on this planet instinctively develops a natural equilibrium with the surrounding environment, but you humans do not. You move to an area and you multiply, and multiply until every natural resource is consumed. And the only way you can survive is to spread to another area. There is another organism on this planet that follows the same pattern. Do you know what it is? A virus. Human beings are a disease, a cancer of this planet. You are a plague, and we are the cure.
In December 2023, tensions rose between China and the United States when a Chinese Type 055 destroyer blocked a U.S. aircraft carrier task force from entering an area where China was conducting a naval exercise. The U.S. wanted to show strength and responded by sending 18 EA-18G Growler aircraft. These planes are designed for electronic warfare and were tasked with jamming the destroyer's radar and communication systems. However, something unexpected happened. The jamming had no effect on the Chinese destroyer. Despite the efforts of the Growlers, the Chinese warship carried on with its operations as if nothing had happened. The situation escalated when the destroyer locked its targeting systems onto U.S. vessels and opened its missile cells, a clear show of force. This forced the U.S. planes to retreat to avoid further confrontation. After the incident, the commander of the U.S. Electronic Attack Squadron was relieved of duty. The jamming had failed because the destroyer's radars were powered by advanced artificial intelligence. This AI technology was able to counter the
Hello, peace, and blessings. Another day in the newsroom. News never in the working service. We have a banger from you. This is called World Record. I got the name from thinking about animatrix, because we are living in the time of matrix, the stimulation, when conventional warfare get too powerful that it go into unconventional warfare, when civilians, when the government, and much more get impacted. So I want to thank everyone for coming into the live chat, and everyone for coming in and view the show. I want to first say that the video that we showed at the intro was part of the 1999 Matrix trilogy. We do not own no right. This is only for educational purpose. The words that was said was used as metaphysics of what's really going on. Everyone, this is Henry Williams, your host, and also your co-host, Shin Akuma JML. Let's start the show. How you doing? What's up?
What's good, brother? You already know, chilling, man. We just got more action. It's been a busy news week.
Yes. I wanna thank Empress. I wanna thank Latoya. I wanna thank Killer B, the Wishfinder General. Thank you for coming through. Thank y'all for coming through, for seeing the show. The live chat is open. Criticize, discuss, or just ask questions. Enjoy your time. Start a community here. More people get active. So now, we heard about the drones that occur in the northeastern of the United States, New Jersey, and other places on the eastern coast. Then the news jumped from there to politics, and from politics to the fire in California. But there's a story that no one have been hearing about. and that is drone sighting in Louisiana over a nuclear facility, and the implication of that, and also nuclear material on a black market. And what can you do and what should you do in the case you see a drone, and also understand the rule of having drones for the parents who bought drones for their children during the holiday, and much, much more. Also, Donald Trump, we're going to discuss the ban on TikTok and Donald Trump output. Peace, peace. Thank you for coming on. God bless. God bless. So here we see the first video in 2023. We have United States going through the Taiwan Strait, and China was doing war game. In the United States, you electronic warfare, but AI technology was advanced and diverted that attack. And it's showing that we are in the age where the machines is beginning, the age of the machines. When we see the Matrix, it dealt with national disasters, dealing with the environment. From the environment, it was starting to create robots to try to better mankind. And in that, it created problems where you have labor disputes between man and robot, and men trying to destroy robots, but robots gain the intelligence, artificial intelligence. They gain the intelligence to feel, to know that they was overworked, so they start going on strike. And from there, it was a war between man and machine. And from the war between man and machine, man was trying to block out the sun. And we seeing this today with men trying to come up with solutions to stop global warming. And this would cause the earth to decline and decay, and the matrix, the stimulation was created. We dealing with AI technology. We dealing with VR technology, virtual reality. We dealing with drones. We dealing with cyber dogs, cyber machine, Terminator. We dealing with computers. We dealing with AI technology, where the beginning of AI technology, they saying it's a fear. We need to regulate AI technology, and the implication, because some AI was saying that they wanted to wipe man out. The AI, the computer, wanted to wipe man out. And that should be very concerning of dealing with the attentions of the government and the elite in the future we are going. So no further ado, let me go into the system and pull up the video I wanted to show. This coming from Lake Charles, Louisiana. I'm from Lake Charles, Louisiana, and then there's some news that I would like to share with y'all dealing with the drone.
Drones are a popular gift during the holiday season, and as more of them take to the sky, residents in Southwest Louisiana have growing concerns. Some are uneasy about these flying cameras. KPLC Stephanie Obediku spoke with local law enforcement.
Over the past few weeks, 7 News has received multiple calls and emails about drones in the area. One Lake Charles resident says that she spotted a drone multiple times flying over her house and backyard. She's concerned that it could be recording. There are laws in place to regulate the use of these devices. Louisiana law prohibits trespassing, including the use of drones, to enter private property without consent. It is also against the law to use a drone to film or photograph without consent in areas where individuals have an expectation of privacy.
People have an expectation of privacy. So you can't just fly your drone over your neighbor to see what they're doing in their backyard.
But what if you see one lurking around your property? Can you possibly try to bring it down?
No, you can't really purposely shoot down somebody's drone.
Doing that could be classified as destruction of property. Federal law does enforce that all drones must be registered with the Federal Aviation Administration if they weigh more than 1 pound. So many of them can be tracked back to their owner. Now, if you spot one in areas where they are prohibited, you are encouraged to report it. Sheriff Stitch Guillory says his team is not currently investigating any complaints about drones. He also advises any drone users to understand the laws surrounding these gadgets.
If you got a drone for Christmas, you need to do some research to make sure you're not violating the law. And you also have to know where you can and can't fly drones.
In Lake Charles, Stephanie Obadiku, 7 News.
For more
What you got to say about that, man?
Well, personally, from my experience, it ain't really nothing they can do about it on top of that, but at the same time, sometimes it is disturbing. You know, because I live in the 3rd floor, and one time I seen a drone outside my window. I got heated. Yeah. I went outside to go see what was going down, right? Because just to relate it to them talking about, no, don't shoot drones down because you don't know the purpose, right?
Yeah.
I went outside. There was this dude in the middle of the street flying a drone. So I walked up to him. I'm like, yo, what's good? Why are you flying drones near people's windows and stuff? Blah, blah, blah.
Yes.
And he was like, yo, I'm a detective. I'm flying a drone because we're investigating somebody on a workman's compensation case. Because we found out that they was lying on the paperwork. So they lived down the street from me. And they had the drone flying out there and where he couldn't see it at because they was catching him on film, taking the garbage out, the garbage bins out, and all type of crazy stuff. They had him fixing his car, all type of stuff. So it's definitely shocking sometimes. But like the sheriff said, you might not know what the purpose is, so you don't want to go out there destroying the drones because then that's destruction of property. And then let alone if it's the police's drone, you in real trouble.
Yes. And the one thing the officer said that got me to know off top the deal is this. In the eyes of the law, they don't care what you believe, what you ignorant of, what you don't know. Because in that case, the officer, the sheriff, said that you need to know the law of having drones. So people got to understand when it comes down to buying drones for your children, buying drones for yourself, a hobby, the law. As to the point that if somebody own a home, on a property, there's laws dealing with that property. How far underneath the property that the owner owns, because it might be oil underneath his property. How far underneath the land that he owns, and how far in the sky that a person owns above their home. So someone flying a drone in private property recording people is a violation. But if you somewhere in a public place, I say you walk in New York, Times Square, and someone have a permit to use a drone and you is in public space, they can record you. So in the cases,
but they can't record in windows and stuff like
yes,
that.
yes, not
Have
through windows.
personal privacy.
Yeah, if you walking,
That's why I got upset that time when the drone flew by my window but I didn't know that he was the police. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
But when the drone flew by my window, I'm like, yo, I know people ain't droning, filming in my house through the window. You know what I'm saying? Because it was the summertime. So my window was open. I got the blinds up, all that. You know how it is. It's hot.
yeah,
But you also got to realize something too. Places like Times Square, they're not going to give you a permit unless you're like the news or something like that.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Let's really be honest out here. In Rhode Island, you need to have a permit to fly the drone anywhere that's not a park. So if you're in like a public park, like, you know what I mean? You can fly your drone without having a license. But in Rhode Island, you have to have a drone flying license to fly it anywhere else. For you to be able to fly it and take pictures of the city, for you to be able to fly it anywhere in Rhode Island that's not a park, you have to have a drone license. The same thing like a driver license. I got a friend, he got a drone, and he had to go and take FAA classes in order to get the license.
So
Fly the drone, how high he could fly the drone, the type of facilities and stuff he could get in the pictures of the drone, with the drone, the video and the pictures he could take. And he can't fly. You're not supposed to fly drones over civilians.
Yeah.
You can't fly drones over where, like say you want to go, you're trying to film a festival or something like that. You can't fly the drone immediately over the crowd, because if the drone runs out of battery or it loses connection and it falls out the sky, it can hurt somebody, or, you know what I mean, possibly unalive somebody.
Yeah.
And you can't fly the drone near the airport, a police department. I think he said the airport, the police department, and government
infrastructure. That's also including someone, I'm gonna say from Louisiana, someone who have a field full of sugar cane, a field full of rice, a crawfish, going over private property, that former land, recording their field. That's a no-go. That's for two reasons that is a no-no. One is private property, we know off top. And the second thing is part of war is to disrupt food. The major thing with economics and money, people think, oh, clothes or just money, period. No, what really, really, really move money, which move people, is food. Our food security is very scarce. If something happened where a drone is equipped with parasitic acid, some poison spraying over things, you have some drones that pre-program to go into one location and hit the target or deal with the mission at hand, and that's it. And you have some is to the point that AI technology that it could divert mission if civilians is around, and then you got some that you could control just right there on the point and see with a human eye. So we not just talking about AI technology dealing with drones. We dealing with human behavior right now dealing with drones. And this is a very scary case. So I want to pull up some info. Let me get to it. I hope everybody doing well. I want to appreciate again everybody for coming into the live, watching the show, and making a comment. Even if you just dropped in, drop a comment, and that's it. So let's go ahead and put the show up. So okay. Can you see it good? Is it big enough?
Yeah, you good.
Okay, let's pop it on then.
From South Louisiana, and I'm coming to you today about something that is so important. A few months ago, it was all about the drones. Drones everywhere across the United States. It's all we were talking about. Then the drones stopped. We moved to the California fire. But here's the thing, folks. The drones did not stop. And for us in Louisiana, it feels like the drone invasion has just begun. Okay, it's the 11th of January, 2025. On January 9th, 2025, President Donald Trump elect and our Governor Landry of Louisiana, were discussing the seriousness of these 5-foot drones being seen in places over Louisiana's most critical infrastructure. And the number one thing, Riverbend nuclear plant.
Very suddenly, do you have any idea whatever happened to the drones?
What happened to drones?
Well, you said that you knew that, but you thought the government knew what was happening with these drones over New Jersey. There were some by Bedminster.
I don't know, they're over Bedminster a lot. That's what happened. I'm going to give you a report on drones about one day into the administration, because I think it's ridiculous that they're not telling you about what's going on with the drones. And it's not only with me. Glenn was telling me today that in Virginia, they have drones all over the place doing, nobody's reporting. I don't know why they're not. Do you want to say something about
Just one comment, which is we are home to the largest naval base in the world in Quantico, and we house a lot of SEAL teams and have a huge national security infrastructure. And now, for 2 years running, we have had drone incursion over secure airspace, and we don't know why. And I think that's absolutely unacceptable. And I think President Trump and the new leadership coming in, I think, will work diligently to understand who's behind this and what we do in order to stop the digital surveillance of all of our secure infrastructure.
Is it dangerous?
Well, I can tell you this. While we were dealing with us back in New Orleans, we had drones being flown by nuclear reactors in Louisiana. We brought that attention to the FAA. We've been asking the FAA to give these states the ability to mitigate these drones, and it's sitting on some bureaucrat's desk. And that's real. Nobody knows. They don't want to talk about it. Go ahead, Governor. You also,
I was just going to say we have drones in Wyoming flying over our infrastructure as well, and it's incredibly frustrating. We not only have no way of knowing what it is, but nobody knows how to deal with it.
they don't want to talk about it, and nobody knows why. They don't want to talk about it. That could be us sending.
Now that is located in West Louisiana Parish. A parish is a county to most of you. That is, when I say parish, I mean county. So West Louisiana Parish is where the Riverbend nuclear plant is. Now, we have a saying here in South Louisiana, if you hear the siren, it's already too late, okay? Now, I worked in East Louisiana as a school teacher for a couple of years, and on 9/11, the sirens went off at the nuclear plant because, of course, they didn't know what was happening in the world as the planes were hitting the towers and everybody was in disarray. So the plant locked down. And I remember I am teaching first grade, and for the first time in my life, I heard the nuclear power plant sirens go off, and it terrified me. I remember looking at those 29 children's faces and thinking, how am I going to get these guys to safety if that plant explodes? Because, like I said, if you hear it, it's already too late. So my point is that right now, and has been since December 24th, 2024, 5-foot drones flying over the nuclear power plant plants in Louisiana. Also, West Virginia is also being hit very hard right now with a drone incursion. Now, I showed you some video from the California fires, and it looks like in a couple of those videos, there are drones with what might be lasers attached to them. That's all I can say. But if you're in Louisiana and you're seeing these drones come over the infrastructure, critical infrastructure of our state, you need to be reaching out to the police people. Don't ignore them. All right. So what is critical infrastructure? That is our water. That is our sewer. That is our electricity. That is our schools, our prisons, our hospitals, government official buildings, any of that. Okay, granaries, our agricultural fields. If you own a lot of sugarcane field, crawfish farms, and you're seeing drones above your property, you need to call that in, because it's going to be, if it becomes an attack issue situation, they're not just going to take out the electrical grid and the water. They're going to take out the food also, people. That's how it works in war. So Louisiana, you should be so proud of your governor, because he was seated at the left hand. President-elect Donald Trump, just 2 days ago, very upset about these drones. They are serious about figuring out who and when and where and what. And Donald Trump has promised us come January 21st, 2025, we're finally going to have answers. What are these drones? Because, guys, let me tell you, down here, people like to shoot at things that we can't identify. And I looked it up, and there was this news article, only in Louisiana, is it legal to shoot drones? I burst out laughing. But here they're telling you, don't do it. They're so big that if these land and hurt somebody or damage property, you're going to be responsible. So don't take them out yourself. Just call your local police department. Now, what gets me is our police department down here in West Louisiana is like, oh, we don't think there's anything to be worried about. Don't worry about them. But we don't know who they are and their 5 foot in length and width. Now, I looked up drones that are 5 feet. Do you guys know that one of those costs over $25,000? So I'm pretty sure it is not people like you and me flying these drones. Most of these are capable. They're set up with cameras. They're set up with all kinds of doodallies. They can carry guns. And in fact, I've shown videos on this channel of drones picking up deer carcasses and carrying them. They were small drones. So I wonder what a 5 foot drone could do. I'm just saying, my friends, you know, we're going to start raising Cain down here. It's going to be one of those bless your mama situations. Bless your heart. Because it's coming. Whatever it is, folks.
Over the past 2 weeks, Sheriff Brian Spillman says the drones are as large as 5 feet in diameter. Spillman says they've been reported over prohibited airspace in the parish. He does not believe this is a threat to public safety. His office is seeking additional resources to identify the devices and their operators. The Attorney General Liz Burrow says her office is assisting in this investigation.
So if you are catching drones on your security cameras, on your doorbell cameras, with your phones, please reach out to me. You can find me on Facebook. You can inbox me and send me your videos. I would love to talk to some people that have had run-ins with these, regardless of what state you're in, folks. I do not believe that these are U.S. drones. I don't. And I think Trump knows it. And I think when we find out who it is, we're all going to be shocked. But it almost feels like our country has been taken over from the inside out. God bless you. Like, comment, subscribe, share this video around Louisiana. We need more people to know the drones have not disappeared. They just moved states.
Yeah. One is, let's go back in the past, go into history. 9/11. George W. Bush was in Florida when the attacks occurred. He left Florida and went to one major state. Not California, not Nevada, not Texas. He flew into Louisiana. In Shreveport, Louisiana, we have nuclear payload with payload. We have nuclear plants in Louisiana. And Louisiana is in the structure to a natural gas platform, oil rig. Louisiana is very valued to the life of the United States. While there was a terrorist attack, a man who was in old military vet, a military veteran, claiming affiliation to ISIS, had an attack in New Orleans. New Orleans is 2 hours away from Baton Rouge, and West Philippe Parish is right next to Baton Rouge, the state capital of Louisiana. That's where the prison Angola is located, in West or East Philippe Parish. So when people realize the significance of these areas, people realize that this is very scary. You got Virginia military bases. You have Louisiana critical infrastructure, food security, nuclear power, military bases, and much, much more. When you see a drone, report it. If it's in a location that is prohibited, that means over your house, over jail houses, police stations, critical infrastructure, report it. Don't try to shoot it down. This for us to understand as civilians. Don't try to shoot it down because you might miss the drone and the bullet got to come down. Remember, shooting in the air for the holiday bop, gravity is going to come down. If you don't hit that target, that bullet is like a missile. It's going to come down and it's going to hit something or someone. So that's why it's not wise to do so. And you bring one of them drones down and it hits someone, you will be responsible. Just like if the owner have a drone and it's fly over your head and it drop, he gonna be held responsible. So if you touch it, it do better. Yes, do better calling 911. Yes, don't try to get it yourself. And it's scary, like we not hearing this in mainstream media. I want to thank my reporter out of Louisiana, Samantha. I want to thank her very much for her reporting. If y'all want to get more information or y'all want to share a video of when y'all see drones, you can contact us at ngawordler@gmail.com. So let me see if I put it. Here you go, right here. Any future questions, contact us at nagaworldorder@gmail.com. That's NGAWORLDER@gmail.com. That's how you will contact us with videos for future shows. If you have any complaints, you have any questions, you have any critique, if you want to give support or you want to collab with us, hit us at the email that was below.
Well, I gotta say that personally, I don't think it's that scary, to be honest with you, but because in Rhode Island, I believe we already got the drones out here that they be talking about on the news in these other places. That it's like a lot of these places a little, I don't want to say backwards because that's kind of discriminatory, but more slower, like not as I don't know how to like say it without being too much like
up to speed to
I'm
up
not
to
trying to
speed
be
to current events.
disrespectful, but I'm not trying to be disrespectful, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like for example, like New York City is the cutting edge of technology, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Louisiana is not the cutting edge of technology.
Correct.
But Rhode Island is closer to New York. So it's a little bit more on the cutting edge of technology. Like when I was living in New York and then I moved back to Rhode Island, I felt like I was like 3 years behind where I was at when I was living in New York, like around 3 years maybe.
Yeah.
And because it took 3 years for when I was living here to catch up to where New York was at the time.
Yeah.
And I already have observed in the nighttime the drones is out here in Rhode Island for a long time, because you could tell if you look up in the sky, you can see equidistant lights. Like they're equidistant. Like it's not no stars. You can tell what a star look like.
Oh no, helicopter or plane.
And it's not a plane because it's not moving. The light ain't moving. It's in the same spot. But it's equidistant. That's the thing that piqued my interest about it when I was observing it. Is it's equidistant. And then when I started looking at them where they were located and how they was located, I started to notice it was making a grid pattern. We know that's the drones. If you see any type of lights making a grid pattern in the sky, that's the drones. That means that they're observing the area from an aerial phenomenon, right? From an aerial perspective. Yeah. And places like Louisiana are not highly technological, right? Because y'all is down south. You know, there's not a lot of technology over there when it comes to the cutting edge. So like for example, we was talking about the other day the government doing psyops and stuff like that, government operations, right?
Yeah.
See, we don't know what be in some of these bills that Congress be passing. A lot of people don't know what's in the state bills that the state Congress be passing. So, and the Agenda 2030, it's most likely they got drone surveillance already legalized by the government without having to disclose that they're recorded from the sky. They're not disclosing that. You know, because think about like the movie Will Smith, Enemy of the State, how they were zooming in up on them and all that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because you got to think about it, how they be finding these people who's most wanted, serious criminals, and they be finding them so quick in these urban areas like New York City. Because they got them drones up there watching. The eye in the sky. You know what I'm saying? Even the Bible and Revelation said that they was going to be able to watch you doing everything you doing. They're going to be watching us. We already know it's surveillance, closed circuit cameras in every store. We know people got Ring cameras now in their house. Just the doorbell is a camera. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So there's no way they're not watching from the sky, especially because they're trying to stop anti-terrorism task force type stuff. Ever since, and your reporter from Louisiana made a good point, ever since 9/11. So you think that how are they going to prevent a 9/11 style attack easily? The drones is already up there.
Yeah.
The drone, they probably got drones that follow aircrafts. And I'm talking about commercial aircrafts. I'm not even talking about personal planes or nothing like that yet. I'm talking about 747, etc. Especially, you know, incidents like the Malaysia plane and stuff like that. They're gonna be way more concerned. And then people's like, oh, they was flying over the nuclear plant. Bro, what if that's the government just taking pictures and checking security protocols? And they just don't want to tell nobody, right? They don't want to tell nobody because what civilian got clearance to know what the information of a military operation?
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
And it
If
would
that
be
drone is fly over the nuclear plant, so it could see, how quick the radar of the nuclear plant is going to be able to detect the infiltration of the airspace. How do we know? We can't never know. We're not getting debriefed. Who's getting debriefed? Ain't none of us getting no type of paperwork, no security files. You know what I mean? Even the governor's probably not getting security files. They told him probably after the fact. That's why Trump was over there like, yo, we was spying on you, right? And he was like, yeah, I already know you was spying because they hit me up after. Because they ain't going to tell him during. It's like, you got to think about it like a fire. You got to think about it like a fire drill, right? Or a safety inspection. They ain't telling you they're coming for the safety inspection at your job. Because they want to catch you off base on a regular day. They want to see if you're really violent.
Yeah, it's just like they asked Donald Trump, a news reporter asked about some war strategy, about if he was going to war with Greenland, different stuff like that, and also Panama. And he told them it's like it would not make no sense for a president or anybody to give their battle strategy to a reporter. So there's the same way for civilians. In some cases, it's better to not know. Some cases, better to not know what's going on because it's military. It's classified.
And like and like I said, it's just that people don't got clearance. You don't got clearance. You was in the military. You know what I'm talking about. You don't got clearance. You can't see it.
So
you don't know what's going on. They don't give it.
Yeah. So going into talking about drones and nuclear weapons, we're gonna go from the objective of the nuke. Keep in mind.
Let's link it up. Let's link it up first. And let's do the one about the Yakuza selling the nuclear material first, so that way we can link that in.
Yes, that's what I'm about to go into now. So let me pull it up.
You don't got the video up, brother.
It's up now.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, it's big. Okay. Let me close my mouth and start. Oh, thank you. Good knowledge, guys. Thank you. Appreciate it. So let's go into the video. Mute.
Play that.
Takeshi Ebisawa. He's 60 years old, a Japanese gang lord, and now a global headliner. He tried to sell nuclear material to the Iranians and was caught by the Americans. Now he has pleaded guilty and faces a life behind bars. His story begins in Tokyo's shadowy streets. Ebisawa was a criminal, but not a regular criminal. He was a high-ranking boss in the Yakuza. That's Japan's notorious crime syndicate, the Yakuza. It is based in Japan, but its operations are spread across the world, in Sri Lanka, in Myanmar, in Thailand, and even in the United States. In 2020, Ebisawa approached a man, someone he believed was a high-level dealer, someone connected to an Iranian general. But this dealer was in fact an undercover agent. He was a man working for the DEA, the American Drug Enforcement Agency. Ebisawa obviously had no idea. He remained in touch with this agent and carefully crafted the deal. Then 6 months later, he made his move. Ebisawa sent an email with an offer, 50 tons of uranium and thorium for $6.8 million. And the email was not just words. It included photographs, images of a dark, rocky material, along with the pictures there was a Geiger counter. This is a device used to measure radiation levels. Now, Ebisawa claimed that he was sourcing them from Myanmar. He was offering uranium and thorium. And what did he want in return? He wanted surface-to-air missiles, among other things. Then he doubled down on his claims. Ebisawa provided the American agent with yellow cake. This is a uranium concentrate, yellow cake. US authorities tested it. They found that the sample contained uranium, thorium, and plutonium. And all of this happened when Ebisawa was traveling to the US. So he was promptly arrested. Along with him was a 61-year-old Thai national. He too was arrested. Both were hit by a flurry of charges. And now the Japanese crime boss has pleaded guilty. He could be looking at a life in prison. But Ebisawa's arrest is just the tip of the iceberg. This case shines a spotlight on the illegal trade of nuclear materials. And it's a problem that has existed for some time now. In the 1990s, over 1 million Russians worked in nuclear facilities. By that time, the Soviet Union had collapsed. This led to an economic crisis. So these Russians found a way out, some of them at least. They would smuggle classified nuclear material and then sell it to the highest bidder. The Russian government did crack down, but the threat could not be eliminated. Since 1993, the global nuclear watchdog has recorded more than 4,200 such incidents where nuclear material was smuggled and trafficked, not just to states, but also to non-state actors. They too are getting access to nuclear materials, like the Al-Qaeda. Reports suggest that the Al-Qaeda chanced upon a shipment of enriched uranium. That's the kind of uranium that you need to make a nuclear bomb, enriched uranium. And it's not just nuclear material. Take Abdul Qadir Khan, for example. He's known as the father of Pakistan's nuclear program. He not only built a bomb for the terror state of Pakistan, he also sold this technology to others. He smuggled nuclear technology to several nations, the likes of Iran, Libya, and North Korea. So Ebisawa's story is a grim reminder. The shadowy trade of nuclear materials is not just fiction. It is a terrifying reality, a battle that transcends borders and comes with catastrophic implications.
Yeah, man, that reminds me of what they was talking about with the Russian part. I know the majority of people might probably already seen this movie before, but in G.I. Joe, in the movie G.I. Joe, they showed that Cobra was selling nuclear material, and they had made advanced weaponry with that nuclear material. Antimatter weapons, antimatter weapons.
Yeah, before we go any further, I wanted to let people know that even let the algorithm know that this reporting came from First Post, and First Post is India national news syndicate. So calling Pakistan, which is an American ally, is as a terrorist state is not our view here at Newsroom 16. Do they have terrorist activity in that country? Yes. Do the state sponsor some terror activity? Yes. I will not deny that. But calling them a nuclear terrorist state would be given a political point of view from our station. So I want to make that clear. And also,
not only that too, we don't want to be making any assumptions based on any of the factors that they're reporting, because obviously India and Pakistan got a long history of being rivalry. So we know that that portion of the report is going to be biased anyway. So we shouldn't even be given any credit or taking any heed to the part about Pakistan.
So let's
go based off what they said about the guy in the Yakuza. And the reason why we had to go to the Indian networks is because they're not reporting this on any American networks based off the simple fact they don't want American people knowing that street gangs have enriched plutonium and uranium and can make nuclear weapons. Think about that.
Other thing, he can't also
gonna stop making nuclear bombs.
And you want to know the craziest part that we here at Newsroom never in the working service, working for you, the people you see me point at you, the love for you, the people, you. Make sure we big screen so you see the never in the working service. I'm working for you. We working for you. And knowing that this a part that y'all might have missed out. This man was not in Japan. This man was not in Turkey. This man was not in China. This man was not in Middle Asia. This man was in United States. So it showed two things here. That Yakuza gang, Japanese gang, has infiltrated American soil. Secondly,
Bro, the Yankees have been in America for a long time already, though.
Yes, for the people who don't
Maybe
know.
all up in California, that's them dudes that you be seeing, them Asians that be having full body tattoos. Those are the Yakuza, because that's one of their requirements. That's how you know they're Yakuza, because they got them full body tattoos.
And also with it was this man was caught in United States, and not just caught in United States because he talked to a secret agent. This man provided the machinery to test radioactive material. And he provided yellow cake. And that is weapon grade material for a nuclear bomb on United States soil. So now people got to understand this right here. In 2024, there was a case, and I'm about to read it to you now. But before that, let's go a little back in the history, because this is world record. In 2018, two nuclear specialists from the United States Department of Energy was transporting nuclear material from a research lab to an Idaho lab when it was stolen from their vehicle. The missing material was plutonium, and they have not been found. The material have not been found. Going further into history, not past this event, but going further in the future from 2018, we going in December, last month. It haven't even been a month yet from this incident. In December 2024, the United States Nuclear Regulation Committee reported that radioactive pin source was missing. A shipment container containing a device with trace amount of germanium 68 was damaged and empty when it arrived at the destination. That means the container was damaged. Somebody broke loose, took the material, and the container was empty upon arrival. The device was used as a radar source for a CAT scan machine. In Newfield, New Jersey, the missing material was later found and disposed of property. That was good. But people got to understand that was missing dirty bomb material in Malaysia in 2018. So we have missing materials of nuclear proportions in the United States.
Not only that, too, going back to the Yakuza, that a lot of people don't realize, the Yakuza is an arm of the Japanese government. Because people don't know about, I don't know if they know, but the Yakuza runs basically the whole Japan. The whole thing. I'm talking about the government. I'm talking about business. I read a report like a few months back, that the Yakuza even own Nintendo. You know what I'm saying? They own Nintendo, and Nintendo and through their ownership in Nintendo, that's how they own casinos in Japan. That's how they legally own casinos, by using Nintendo. And people don't even understand these people. And then number two, since we're going on world records, right? This is World War II type vengeance. Let's be honest. Let's all be honest. 1945, dropping nuclear bomb on Nagasaki and Hiroshima. The world was never the same after that, especially Japan and their people. That's why in Dragon Ball Z, they be showing the nuclear explosions. That's why Gundam, all the anime, they always show you nuclear type explosions. Because on the low, which I know from watching a lot of anime, reading a lot, and studying a lot about Japanese people and their culture, talking to Japanese people, they've been plotting to get revenge on the United States ever since then. And this seems like a very easy way to get vengeance. Sell nuclear material to our enemies. We know Japanese is grade A when it comes to making the electronic devices, which means they can provide the delivery systems. We know that they know how to refine the nuclear materials because, come on, bro, we all know Fukushima, like we don't even have to go crazy to find out if Japan knows how to make nuclear anything. We know about the Fukushima radiation spills. We know about various things that these Japanese people been doing. They're mathematicians, and they all know scientific principles at a high level.
Yes, yes.
Now, the worst part about it is the government and the media of America covering it up, because the fact that we got to go to an international news to see somebody who got arrested in the United States with nuclear material, that they rather talk about a California fire. Brother, if he was in LA, it would have been a California nuclear explosion. Forget a fire. Y'all was worried about some fire, and you know what I mean? My condolence for people who died in the fire, and you know what I mean? Pray for those folks. I'm not trying to make light of their situation, but compared to a nuclear attack in LA, I think the fire is more reasonable. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not trying to be callous, but I'm just speaking the truth. Don't nobody want no accidental nuclear explosion in downtown Hollywood Boulevard. You know what I'm saying? That's a lot of people exposed to nuclear radiation. And then what are we gonna think in the rest of the country if people can infiltrate a city like LA and let off a nuclear weapon in the city, whether it's a dirty bomb or not, or you got gangbangers walking around with nuclear grade material, arms grade nuclear material in briefcases, exposing all type of people to radiation, residual radiations. People stealing nuclear material off hospitals. You see, this is why people say, oh, you know, Donald Trump, he doesn't really know what he's talking about, blah, blah, blah. When he's talking about we need border control and national security, this is the stuff he means.
Yeah,
it ain't trying to take ultimate control of everything. It's because we as American citizens, we've been living life since the end of World War II so easy
that we became naive.
That we think we're untouchable over here in this country. Like we can walk around and ain't nothing gonna happen because this is America. But until something happens, like 9/11, you know what I'm saying? Something like what happened in New Orleans in New Year's.
And we got
what happened?
And we got to
Right.
understand, even from after World War II, we made mistakes in the field of nuclear research, nuclear material, nuclear energy, to the point that one day a country could be our friend, and the next day could be our worstest enemy. Our worstest enemy. And in that case, let me explain this. Israel nuclear reactor was built by Israel spying on the United States, containing nuclear bomb. It is alleged Israel had nuclear bomb, and they got the know-how from spying on the United States. Iran first nuclear reactor was created by the United States. We was their friends. We supplied them with weapons. We supplied them with technology for nuclear energy. And we see the outcome of today, where United States and Iran together. It is very scary that this man was trying to contact an Iranian general. So think about Houthi rebels in Yemen. They already contain and have an easy to produce supersonic missile, no, hypersonic missile, faster than the speed of sound, Mark 5 and above. These missiles could reach Tel Aviv less than 2 hours. In some cases, these missiles do not get shot down. They do not get shot down till they above their target. Sometimes missiles do not have to hit their target to have an impact. If you use these missiles to blow up in the air, and the
Yeah,
impact will be
fallout just from that.
yes,
You know what
nuclear
I'm saying?
fallout.
And that's that. And from what scientists say and military experts, the fallout is worse than the actual impact explosions. The nuclear fallout, because the nuclear fallout could extend as far as 3 days to 3 years later.
Yeah.
It could be 3 years later, you're still getting nuclear fallout in the rain, nuclear particulates flying through the air, through the wind. So these things is things you have to think about when you are understanding these. And that's why, you got to get on top of your Congress people. You got to get on top of your representatives. And you have to make sure that they're securing our best interests as the civilian populace. Because a lot of the time, they write us off as collateral damage, the civilian populace.
Yeah.
As long as it's not getting hit in any way that's critical for them to operate, they really could care less if the civilians get killed. And I'm not trying to get us violated, but I'm just trying to say it like it is.
Yeah.
If they're going to take us down, they're going to take us down. That's the thing. And
this is a dangerous. Yeah, this is a dangerous world where you have people got to understand that you have people who do not agree with the United States, and you got some people who don't agree with other countries near and around them. As you have Pakistan and India. Pakistan created a nuclear bomb, and right after Pakistan gained their nuclear bomb, India wind up counteracted, created a nuclear bomb to counteract Pakistan in China. You have Israel is accused of having nuclear bomb, and you have Iran getting accused of trying to achieve a nuclear bomb, where they said themselves that they have a religional edict that say they cannot create a nuclear bomb or nuclear weapons. That is haram, forbidden. So we're gonna see if they're gonna attain the material to attain a bomb, because now the international nuclear watchdog agency said that Iran is enriching their uranium and plutonium to 90%. They was a few months ago 60%. Now it's supposed to be at 90%, and the significance of being 90% is weapon grade material.
Yeah, and you know what's kind of crazy about that?
Yeah.
A lot of people is gonna be like, oh, if 6 months ago Iran wasn't able to do it, how come they can do it now? It's a very simple answer. And it's something that the United States government really doesn't want the people to think about or know. And that's Iran got an AI. Iran is using an AI, a military grade AI. They have to. In order to be able to go from 60% over the last 10 years. That it took them the last 10 years to get to 60%. But in 6 months, they go up 30% to 90 weapon grade material. Nah, that was an AI, brother. That's an AI. The AI was able to work out them equations. See, people don't understand the strength of the AI because they using these AI every day, but they don't realize that these AI we're using, these are toys. They just told us in the video we watched in the beginning of the show. In 2018, the Chinese had an AI that was able to counteract United States radar and surveillance jamming equipment actively. Because I know about the weaponry they be using. If they hit them with the jammers and it didn't stop them, then they change the channel and they'll use a different frequency and do it again. The AI would have to be so quick that out of the infinite amount of channel frequencies that the United States could have chose to use next, it knew the exact one. Which this goes into what we were talking about that day with El Hanan on the show. Quantum reality.
It's kind
they
of
have the ability to go through the quantum reality to know, oh, yep, they're going to use channel 1050. How do you know they're going to use channel 1050? Because the computer time jumped.
Yeah, it's kind of like
another timeline in the future and then came back and then said, yo, they use 1050. And then now the computer knows, get off to defend against the frequency signal 1050.
Yeah, it's kind of like this. This what came to my mind. It's kind of like a visible hand. It's like the ship like about to throw the rock before it even hit the ship. The electronic pulse from the AI seen the hand movement throwing the rock before the regular eye did. So as to the point, as you said, that is seen beforehand, like this is, it got 30,000 possibility, but the most likely possibility is these jets is coming to jam us. That's what jets, to make sure we don't track them, they will automatically use electronic warfare. So we must, the AI already calculate everything and made sure that it stopped whatever warfare that been used. So
and
now
you got to think about, hold on, let me say this
Yeah.
too about what you just said, because it's very important people understand.
Yeah.
The same way that you can ask ChatGPT a question, I'm talking about an open-ended question, not a fact or a knowledge question, but an open-ended question, meaning something that he has to solve in order to answer. Like, you know, like how the computer was on Jeopardy.
Yeah.
On Jeopardy, the computer was getting the answer right 98% of the time, and even if it got the answer wrong, the next answer that it had in the list was the right answer. And not only that, it had the right answer and the next 3 popular wrong answers in the lineup.
Yeah.
Now, in the case of the United States ship, the Chinese got radar, so the AI scanned the warship. Oh, yep. This is a USS Roosevelt class nuclear aircraft carrier. It has X amount of jets, these certain jets, X amount of aircraft for radar jamming, X amount of helicopters, X amount of missiles, X amount of torpedoes, etc., etc. And then when, like they said, they sent them certain planes out, and the AI knew based off the radar signature. Oh, yep, these are jamming planes. These are radar jamming planes. They're not tactical jets. They're not attack jets. They wasn't coming in an attack formation. So that these different active scans give the AI a lot of critical information that it can decipher in milliseconds and come up with the appropriate counterproduction.
Yeah.
Even though people don't understand, that's how quick the AI moves.
So now, moving on to our last and most touching topic for children, say teenager, and majority of American in the year 2025. The ban of TikTok. Majority of America. Talking about majority, I'm talking about over 75. Over 75%. I say it might be around 84 or 85% of America is on TikTok. Use TikTok. It started as a app to just do dance trends. It's into something greater that people do lives, and while America is regulating Facebook, people getting put in Facebook jails, YouTube blocking and banning people, people found another avenue, and that was TikTok to express their feelings, also earn income. Many ways you could earn income. One is when you go live and people send you gifts. Another way is once you go live, some of your followers or people who just coming on to you can could subscribe, then just follow. They could subscribe and pay a fee. And you also could make content advertising, like if I'm selling this for American Store or a TikTok show, I do a live, I advertise it, and when somebody click on the link and then they buy that product, that material, you get a percentage for them hitting on that link. So people was getting paid from TikTok. People enjoy putting content on TikTok. And then now we are in the phase that TikTok might not be around after January the 19th. Around the days before Donald Trump become president. Right now, it is dealing with the Supreme Court. and it's not looking likely that they gonna rule in favor. The main thing they wanted TikTok to sell to American company because TikTok is owned by a Chinese company and they looking at it as national security because every Chinese company have investment or some dealing with the Chinese people Communist Party. And TikTok was really a space where it's like they scared what they don't know, and they scared of what they do know. And there's things we as people don't know. So let's go into Donald Trump speaking on it.
TikTok, we may be banning TikTok. We may be doing some other things. There are a couple of options, but a lot of things are happening. So we'll see what happens. But we are looking at a lot of alternatives with respect to TikTok.
We'll take a look at TikTok. You know, I have a warm spot in my heart for TikTok because I won youth by 34 points. And there are those that say that TikTok has something to do with it.
TikTok, we may be banning TikTok. We may be doing some other things. There are a couple of options, but a lot of things are happening. So we'll see what happens. But we are looking at a lot of alternatives with respect to TikTok.
We'll take a look at TikTok. You know, I have a warm spot in my heart for TikTok because I won youth by 34 points. And there are those that say that TikTok has something to do with it.
You talk about January 6th. YouTube won't really put in the algorithm. Talk about January 6th. Facebook will shadow ban your content. TikTok was a place where you would go live and talk about it till they start regulating and start saying misinformation. They start using terms like misinformation. The American people need alternative from legacy media. So they went from legacy media to social media. Done research on their own. Other people done research. And it was a hotbed for people to voice their opinion, go on other people's lives and discuss topics that you was not able to talk about on Facebook without Facebook putting you in Facebook jail. Places where you can't go on YouTube where they do not show other people the algorithm. And it wasn't just January 6th, it was also dealing with C-19. They will ban you for talking about certain things.
We need to say the truth, though. We need to say the truth, though, Henry. This is a grade A propaganda move. We already know this. That's why they don't want TikTok, because, like you said, what is the key factor that prevented them from doing what they did on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it? Because it's a Chinese-owned company. So Congress and the United States political system has no power to tell these people what to do on their platform, what to allow, what not to allow. That's the whole real reason. See, Donald Trump over there fronting. You know what I mean? We got to call it like we see it. Oh, I got a soft spot in my heart for TikTok. Bro, you don't got no soft spot in your heart for no TikTok. Because if you did, you would have stopped it. Or you would have at least delayed it. said, oh yeah, let's give it 3 to 6 months into my administration before we execute on the policy, and let's do a further investigation based on Republican majority this time. So we know this is bipartisan. It doesn't have nothing to do with political parties. It has to do with one thing and one thing only: the prevention of anti-propaganda, uncontrolled media. This is America. They control every piece of media. And I don't care what you guys say. I don't care about anybody's resistance. I don't care about nobody's opinion, because this is an absolute truth. The United States government controls every single piece of American produced media, meaning anything that is a United States media company, the government has absolute control over what these places, platforms, and media groups put up. Even individuals like ourselves. Just like our other video that got took down, but we didn't we didn't get in trouble. We didn't get no strikes. They didn't even warn us. They just told us, oh, we took your video down because you said some things we didn't like about Israel, but you're not in trouble because you didn't say anything that was against the law or anything that was against the community guidelines. We just don't like that you was telling the truth about Israel. That's all they say. So, and that lets you know, if they can come and get you individually, if Facebook, Instagram, X can go into your profile and take a post down without you knowing and not even tell you they took it down, that shows you they have the absolute control over the propaganda.
Yeah.
Even if you're saying something that don't go against community standard.
Yes, see, we're gonna do a few series on this because we still going to talk about robot cities, and we're going to talk about from MySpace to Facebook to the destruction of individual coding and the freedom of that. So I want to thank everybody for coming on. I want to end the show on a good note here. I want to thank everybody for coming on. We had more than normal users. We had a few people come in. That's what I like, when people come inside the live chat and just voice. We have Empress, me please. Thank you for coming through. You was watching.
Thank you for your participation.
We want to thank our number one
subscriber.
Yes, our number one subscriber, our number one viewer, our number one fan. Love you so much, Latoya Johnson. And we have a friend of the channel, a good friend of the channel. And when the channel started picking off, when I went to him and said, hey, I'm starting the channel back, and he done an interview on his channel with me. We have Killer B, the Witch Finder General. If you on there,
don't forget to check him out.
And we have a new person that I haven't seen. We have Envy Front. Said, my man, God bless, showing his love. And let me
so
see.
we gotta make sure that people know, man, this is some critical information that's kept out of the actual mainstream media. The only story we reported on today that's mainstream media, national media, is the TikTok ban. That's it. Everything else, they didn't say nothing about that. And and for the closing, I just want to say this. If gangs is out here acquiring nuclear weapons, let me say it one more time, because 3 times you know what that means. That means that's some serious. If gangs are out here acquiring nuclear weapons, What good is the police?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm not even going front. What good is the police? They don't got no type of training to handle no nuclear weapons. Hell, they don't even got no training. But you seen how they got shook up in Chicago when them boys was coming out on the videos with rocket launchers. Them boys in Chicago, the police got shook up. Talking about they ain't going in them neighborhoods no more because they got rocket launchers. So now what they going to do, they find out it's nuclear grade material in there. It's nuclear arms in here. Because you know what that's going to go to next, Henry. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? You was in the army. You was over there in the war zone. You know what the army be using. Depleted uranium rounds.
Yeah.
What happens if these gangsters with these switches start shooting bullets with depleted nuclear rounds in them?
Yes, and we gave that to the Ukrainian, or we was planning on to. But we gonna drop some more in the next show because because we are in the era of the beginning of Dredd. We dealing with Mad Max.
Judge Dredd, yeah.
Yeah, Judge Dredd,
Demolition
Mad Max, the Demolition Man. We are dealing with the era where billionaires is creating electronic cities, where the normal common folk, if you not rich enough, you might not even step foot in new cities. Them new cities might be closed out to the regular people.
And hey, not only that, Henry, think about this too. It might not even, it doesn't even have nothing to do with wealth at that point either. They're doing it so that way the people like us who won't take electronic chips in our body, we can't even go in those cities because we won't be able to access nothing.
Yeah.
So we wouldn't even be permitted to be in these cities. The people who's like, oh, like, you know, like me, I didn't get the vaccine, you know what I'm saying? Or stuff like that. Oh, if you don't want to get these chips in your body for identifying markers in order for you to be able to buy and sell and for you to be identified, then you can't come in these smart cities. You got to stay in the other cities, the primitive cities.
And then it becomes to the point where you have Sam Club, you have Costco. They stop serving to regular cities and only cater to these new cities. And food shortage. You can't get food except for you accept these chips. You accept the rules, the conduct, and the behavior pattern of these. We going into trying times, and we also got virtual reality where someone could get hooked to a feeding tube, get put virtual reality hooked to them, and they'll be living in that virtual world, living on a machine, not even knowing it, that they just working and feeding the system.
I heard about something. I read that they were talking about in California. They was doing some new experimental type of capital punishment where they could put you into virtual reality, put you to sleep, put you into virtual reality. You could be in the virtual reality for literally 3 minutes. But you'll believe that you served 45 years in prison.
Yeah.
And you was only under the influence for 3 minutes, but you believe that, but everything you experienced seemed so real that you thought you lost 45 years of your life already.
Yeah.
So people need to, a lot of people need to be a little bit more vigilant. And on top of that, to add on to the smart cities, and the old cities that we live in now, these regular, let's say modern era cities, not futuristic, but modern era cities. Think about this too, Henry. What's the first thing they're going to say when people stop complying in the modern cities? Oh, we about to siphon off funding.
Yeah.
We're going to take away government funding to run the city. If y'all don't want to get the chips and be on the social credit systems and all that, then we're not going to be giving money to these old time cities. We're not going to be producing any government officials. You guys are going to have to start running your own stuff. And you know what that trickles down to. Now there's not going to be no more police in these cities. It ain't going to be no more fire department, emergency services, EMS. Ain't going to be no working up in the hospitals.
Yeah, before we say any more, make sure y'all tune in to the next show. Hit the notification, hit the bell, hit the notification. Please like, please comment. Please comment, because your comment go far away. We do answer people comment. Please hit the like to get more people in tune with it. And please share. Please share. We need more people participating. We less than yes, we need more people to be informed of what's going on around us. We also close to 800 people subbing. We need more to help us hit the 1,000 mark. And I hope everybody have a wonderful night. This wonderful weekend. It's cold. In some places it snowed. In other places dealing with wildfires. Back to everybody, our condolences for the ones who died, and our sympathy go out to the ones who lost property. Anything else said, Shin, before we close out?
Yeah, man. Just got to keep your vibrations high, and I know it's some negative activity going on in the world, and just try to stay positive. You know what I mean? Positive vibes out here. It's the 111. Today is 111, so 111. So you know what I'm saying? Make sure y'all is out here getting your manifestations right. You know what I mean? Get yourself ready for the new year, and make sure that you're executing what you need to do for you and your family. You know what I mean? Protect yourself at all times, and protect those you love. You know what I mean? Be vigilant.
These hoes out here playing games, and these niggas do just the same. How a nigga try to maintain all the thoughts on my brain. Overthinking, so I overthought them. Like a map, yeah, you know I plot them. Put them in the graveyard site, 24 any day, any night. Tell your girl that I rock the world just right. This long pipe have her dancing like she might. Hit it from the Porsche to the Benz. Tesla, my friend, electric to the end. But they don't wanna make amends. Like these hoes get sewed up. Nigga, it's a hold up. Like a horse, nigga, don't fuck. Or y'all niggas get laid up. Like your hoe when I'm hitting it. You already know where I go when I flow with the spitting. Them niggas all chittens. Them niggas pussy all kittens. I ain't got nothing left. Niggas know J.M.I. Shin Akama to the death.